bring it on. Bring it on, because people are saying that you can't be a good club because you're standalone. And my message to the players is, and this is, I guess, goes back to the very first time I spoke to them as a group, I said, don't ever tell me that you're going to place any restrictions on how good you can or can't be.
Held it up, got rid of it. Bonadeo, back to goal. Setchell in and out of trouble. Dwyer concedes ground on 50. Big kick from McMahon. Nice. Langford, punch from behind was good. Bonadeo, in fact it's bad, and he's kicked it. He's kicked it.
There's a bit to go in this game.
Great pick up, McMahon. There's the siren. What a win for Port Melbourne. He's put it out on the full though, McMahon. Was it before or after the siren? There's a bit on here. There's a big blue between Brennan Savage and Bonadeo. Now McMahon kicked the ball out on the full. There's a full-scale fight on here now. Bonghetti's involved. Extraordinary scenes. We've had a wonderful game here.
Goes forward for the Borough. Bouncing ball. Bonadeo crashes through. Penwell. Can he kick the first goal? What a start for Port Melbourne. Good talk. Little gives all right to Dwyer. He can run to 30 metres here. Dwyer got crunched. Absolutely belted by Liam Picken. He's kicked the goal. Sam Dwyer hasn't moved. It'll be on. The goal will count. I think Liam Picken might be in a little bit of trouble.
Now what's going to go on here as we watch it in replay? He has been poleaxed.
He's reported Liam Picken. Thrilling encounter. Luke Cotchett. Big fist goal side. Cotchett. Oh, what has he done? He's kicked the goal, the skipper. They could hurt on the rebound here. Lockwood's kick to McKenzie was all right. Now he's stuck for an option.
Tackle.
What a tackle by John Baird.
That's one of the tackles of the year.
No highs. Straight up and take it. Thank you.
And I reckon Pitts fumbled the ball a couple of times when he was in the foreline, and he really made a mess of that one. But brilliant tackle by Baird that just...
Pitt, can he make amends? Kicks it to the hot spot. Bonadeo's turned his man. He was going to get the free kick anyway, but once he turned his man, it was all over. Surely this would be enough. Even with the gale at the back of the Seagulls, Bonadeo gets his 5th goal. And Port Melbourne might be heading to the grand final at the Dome next Friday night.
McLaren got the little tap down, and that's it. Port Melbourne into their first grand final since 2004, with the opportunity to win their first flag since 1982. The 3rd year in a row that Brad Gotch's Williamstown has been banished in a preliminary final.
Gee, I've seen a lot of coaching performances and I've been in a lot of huddles, Gary, but at 3/4 time you got it right. What a beautiful victory.
Oh, it was, Phil, because we were really under the pump in that second half of the second quarter, and it shows what character, what spirit, what belief and what brave people these are that represented the Port Melbourne Footy Club today. So I couldn't be more proud of Phil.
And it's a wonderful thing to turn your game around. Second quarter, poor inside 50, no defensive pressure, and suddenly it all turns around.
Yeah, it did, because they've got a lot of belief in this group here and persistence, and I guess we couldn't have gone any worse in that last 10 minutes anyway, but that's full credit to Williamstown. Brad Gotch and his boys, they were super competitive today, so we really had to work, but hopefully now this gives us a real good chance. Every guy's got to go with me. Well done on Uze too, mate, all right? Sometimes things happen in footy, you can't do much about it, but great attack out here and great intensity on the ball, and you too, mate, all right? Don't drop out of the game today, is that clear? Do not drop out of the game. This is your old side today. Wouldn't it be great? 4-quarter effort from you, all right? Fano's getting on top in the middle. But let's not go away from the structure that we know will work. Is that clear? And also too, mate, all right? Great on the
We have seen a very businesslike Gary Ayres throughout the season, but there's a bit of fire in the belly today. No more Mr. Nice Guy by the look of it.
Got to kick like a mule. In the big moments, the big men can stand up and deliver. And Adrian Bonadeo salutes the crowd, and they salute him. The Borough lead by a goal.
To a margin of 15 points, you would think then it's going to be too big a task for a gallant Port Melbourne. They finished top 4, remember. Box Hill finishing off the season with a flourish. Fanning Got it down to McMahon, to Penwell. Port attacking again through the middle of the ground, and McGrath's got it. He takes it on and goes and runs to 55 metres, kicks to a vacant goal square. Corey McGrath keeps Port Melbourne's hopes alive. After 21 minutes, the gap is back to 3.
Well, that could be Matt Smith. Will he line up and have a jump? Fanning into a dangerous spot. Bonadio. Adrian Bonadio gets his 5th. They're back in front.
He's been a starter, eh? Absolutely.
I haven't seen him play better for every minute of the game. You've been talking about him in the box. 5 goals hidden at Pete, I think, but just phenomenal work that he's done. It's just, he's inspirational, isn't he? Another chance at it here.
Clearance for Port Melbourne, and Penwell gives it off. And another experienced player in McGrath, who started forward, then went into the midfield. He can go back. He's played a lot of football. As Darren said, his 100th game in the VFL today. Corey McGrath, at 30 years of age, can make it almost home time for Port Melbourne. He does. Port Melbourne kicks 3 goals in a row, and they get out to a 10-point lead after 27 minutes. The preliminary final, they can almost taste it.
You would have thought now they should just chip the ball around.
They are exhausted. They are so tired, these players. Dalton, left foot barrel. That's it.
That is one of the great games of VFL football.
Fantastic game of football. Fantastic.
The Borough spirit shines, and the devastation for Box Hill is there for all to see. On the terraces, they celebrate and they advance to a date with the Northern Bull Ants next Sunday afternoon in the preliminary final.
Gee, Gary, you were excited, weren't you?
Oh, well, as pumped as I've ever been, Phil, I think. I could almost kiss you, mate. That's how excited I am.
What an incredible game of football. Forget VFA, VFLA. What a game of football.
Well, we keep saying, Phil, and I know you're a very staunch supporter of the old VFA, VFL, mate. To come down here today, watch this sort of game, we know what the stakes were. Full credit's got to go to Box Hill too. They've been terrific this
Brendan
year.
Bolton, good work as a coach.
Unbelievable to get those young blokes up. But in the end, the Borough spirit's alive and well for another week.
Well, and the crowd, I've never heard them so loud.
Oh, you're right. And that's what we want here every week. I know it's not possible, but just shows how many people love the Port Melbourne Footy Club.
And get down next Saturday and Sunday, surely, all you AFL people.
Well, if you don't,
you're mad.
Very much so, mate.
Congratulations, my old mate. Well done.
Appreciate it, mate. Well done.
What a fantastic game of football. Gary Ayres can smile. Brendan Bolton can walk off disappointed but be very proud of his men.
Defensive. Rebound to defensive, mate. Locate your man. I know you haven't played for a couple of weeks, but get somewhere within the vicinity of where he is, and then they won't hit that bloke. But if there's an opportunity also, too, for a defender to show a little bit of courage for his conviction and actually roll off and try and intercept at times, that'll be what we need. The intercept marks quickly out of our defence, through the middle, the little 45 kicks, onto the lead to our forwards, and then lock it in. Come on, let's go. Lock it in, all right? As I said, only a couple of turnovers, that's the only difference.
That's it, Mark. With a quick kick. Fisted away, it was a good scroll. Running onto it, Chris Kane, he's got men loose. And it's Dwyer, space to Bruce. How can the youngster steady beautifully? Great goal from James Bruce.
That's big.
Well said.
Let's hear what his opposite number has got to say. Here's Gary Ayres with Phil Cleary.
Gary, what can you say about a game of football? She's tense, it's hard, you're in front, you think you can win, and then you're worried, can you win? What do you think? What's going on in your mind?
Oh, it's going to be a war of attrition, I think, Phil, to be honest. You know, the game would say that very much, even though we're, 4 goals up, but you don't feel all that comfortable, of course. So it's going to be about, as I said very early on, the mental ability to actually keep playing the game.
We'll leave you to it.
Good on you, mate.
Here's Department against Dawson Simpson and Oren Stevenson. Ball spills up to the wing. Dylan, as he so often does, turns back into traffic. Now they're calling it a touch ball. Scipione back to Burston. Burston squeezes the kick to Penwell. He flirted with the idea of going on, and now he goes back and will have one of the most important kicks of his career. Not necessarily known as a goal kicker. The burden on the shoulders of Toby Penwell. Port leads by 3 at the moment, and after the kick, Port leads by 9. Penwell kicks the goal. They've withstood the barrage just for the moment. The look on Matthew Knight's face says it all. Phil Cleary, I know you're a great admirer of the resilience of this Port team, and they, when their backs are to the wall, are sometimes at their best.
Well, have a look at it, Peter. Where do you reckon Sam Dwyer is? You called him before. He's come in with a broken leg, virtually, that hasn't fully healed. He's had to go forward. So when I talked about the general fitness or endurance, Fitzy, what I meant was they weren't in peak condition because a couple of blokes are not at the top. You know, yeah. Toby Penwell's been out. He's had to come into a tough game. But their capacity to fight's remarkable. But they're still in the game. But don't you write Geelong off. I mean, they are playing such good football. And the coach is going mad here, making organising, pushing blokes up, wants Galea to go forward, bursting back.
Really penetrating.
Beautiful work by Baird running on the footy. He's overrun. Oh, good pressure. Charging through. And Kane in the goal square. Boston, how did this happen? He's dropped it. He gives it to Galea. Gets a goal. That should be it.
Extraordinary faith in each other, haven't they?
Look at the look on Matthew Knight's face. Fumbling errors on the half-forward line. Burston alone, fumbled it, but gave it to Galea. Wow.
Yeah, just it's a massive roll of the dice there to leave your opponent and go up. You know, how could Galea and Burston be both on their own? It's a decision-making error, you'd have to think. 5 goals to Galea.
All the way out to Sully. His short kick. Skippy only got a hand in there. Partial interception through the middle of the ground. Bonadio, Valenti, now Bentic. He squeezes a little kick. Toby Penwell's already been the hero, and he adds to his status now. That's put it in the book, and he knows it. Penwell comes up with a couple of clutch goals in the last quarter, and Port Melbourne has given itself an excellent chance of defending their premiership from last year. They're going to go to the prelim. That Geelong might have had the rub of the green. I went the other way, but it doesn't matter because the Borough shows their resilience again. They were challenged desperately after 11 minutes of the last quarter. Gary Ayres, I'm sure, will rank that up with the great wins that they've had. And they marched through to the preliminary final with a 22-point victory over the Cats. What a win by this famous football club.
It was, Peter, and interestingly, we said about 5 goals at three-quarter time. They've still won by 22 points. I know we discussed the fitness issue or whatever, but it's very, very hard to try and measure the value of strong, hard bodies. It's very hard to measure that, and I thought we saw a good example of their strengths, their hard bodies, and their belief in their system.
The Scorpions were not good in their last goal.
Valenti!
Oh my goodness!
Valenti! What else can you say? They're in front. He's got a couple. He's pumped, and you may as well fist pump, Shane, because you deserve it. How many blokes did he go past here? 5 or 6.
Fleet of foot comes to mind.
But it was dancing. Look at him. Oh, low centre of gravity, patience. That's what Phil and I were chatting about at half-time and you guys spoke about before the game.
Brewer just handballed it to his own advantage. Then he got cleaned up by Tutt. Brooks took them on and lost. Fantastic stuff. Advantage is paid as they fight behind the footy. Goods is frustrated. Lynch takes it inside the 50. Rose works himself free. Then he gives off the handball. Baird with a little left foot kick out into space. They can hardly raise a gallop to get towards it. Burston in the pocket. Time for heroics from Billy Burston. What a grand final moment that might turn out to be. Unbelievable from 30 metres out with the left foot banana. Billy Burston has just experienced one of the big moments of his footballing lifetime.
Yeah, and terrific work with Patrick Rose involved again. We see Baird just getting the kick out there, but I want to go back to Batsanis. The tackle on Brett Goods was just sensational. Watch this goal again. That is unbelievable. But, you know, you can head right back to Nathan Batsanis. A tackle on the wing was what caused the turnover.
You're out of the game.
There it is.
They say that nobody's perfect, but on this day in 2011, Port Melbourne is. They complete the perfect season, undefeated all the way to glory. It has been one of the most remarkable achievements in the game, and Gary Ayres has done something he hasn't done before. Phil Cleary, take it away.
Well, Gary, you and I now share something. We've both coached VFA, VFL premierships. Gee whiz, it doesn't get much better, does it?
No, not at all, mate. Sweetest victory of all. To be obviously go through the year undefeated, to be premiers and champions. They're just an amazing group, mate. Yes. I love them like a father loves his sons, and they've just been outstanding. They climbed Everest this year. They said it could never be done. And as you and I know, mate, the starting line in the song is it's a grand old premiership flag, mate.
And look, Gary, 5 grand finals, with premierships with Hawthorn, 2 Norm Smith, you did a grand final. What about today? Where does it sit in the whole scheme of your life?
Well, it probably ranks right up there, mate. And all I ever wanted to do as a coach was coach the best side. So I can go home now, later on, and say we've been able to do that. But the players should be applauded from absolutely the whole country, mate.
Their stoppage work, the hard ball gets after the second quarter and onwards, Gary. As a coach myself, that was astounding. I got goosebumps watching them.
It was, mate. And when you ask players to go to battle, you know you'd want to go with this group, mate. So outstanding, mate.
All the best to you, Gary.
Good on you, pal. The last thing I want to leave you with, too, the opening line in our song is it's a grand old premiership flag. Go the Borough! How can we execute with our brains? Are we prepared to just do that little bit extra? You've got your captain who's played 200 games. Come on. He has gone the extra bit over the whole of his career. He has gone that little bit further than just about any other guy that's been part of this group for a long, long time. Are you going to go the extra little bit for him?
Yes.
He'll do his bit in the middle. But it takes all. Every effort that you've got now, muster it for the last 28 minutes. Who are we? Each player, we said this a couple of weeks ago, each player will have a moment in this match, in this last quarter, and you nail that moment. Understand? Yep. Be relentless with the pressure that you apply. Again, I can't be any firmer on both sides of the footy. Understand it, boys? Yep. You understand it? 25 minutes of relentless pressure that you apply with your running. The hit-ups are important again in this last quarter. Hit-ups. Don't find yourself lengthening before you see your teammate has the ball. And the other thing is it's going to be tiring, but communicate. Communicate with instructions. Communicate with instructions to give your teammate the best way. 23 Borough boys, find something in the last 30 minutes.
Anastasio, it just had to be this way, but it could be the 2 Seagulls linking up to give Cracker the winner. And Cracker has it, and Port are off to grand final number 33.
Wolfenden gets there first ahead of Dorgan. To helm back. The Borough has gone from the verge of extinction to the verge of a premiership. Port Melbourne are into the 2017 VFL grand final. What a performance from the Borough.
They'll try and chip it around. Hold your nerve. You're right in this particular game as we speak. You're the best finishing side in the competition. Remember, there are lessons that we've learned over the last 10 months. Lesson upon lesson about how we want to play, who we want to be defined by. Now you've got a wonderful moment to define yourself in the history books and earn something. 25 minutes of process. Who are we?
Here we go.
Back for Clark.
Oh, the switch was on then. Clark just threw it on the boot.
Huge ball here for Waddell. Spills to ground. The numbers are with Port. Pinwell steps through the bachelor tackle. Off to O'Sullivan. He's run down. Magnificent run down tackle. Play on the call. Templeton from 51 metres heads goalward. Bouncing ball. Pearson will get there first. Gathers under pressure from Moore. Brings it inboard. Wolfenden!
He's just kicked the goal that's put them in front and could win them the premiership. Lots of numbers now for Port going down back. They've only got 3 up forward. What a performance. From desperation to jubilation, one of footy's great fight-back stories ends in premiership glory. The Borough are the champions of Victorian football for the 17th time.
With hope in his heart and dreams in his eyes, Lennon steps to the mark. He's missed it. He's missed it! Port are premiers! The Borough have done it! The boil over the year! They stand alone and they stand tall to win the 2017 premiership!
And lastly, in this time of the year, there's a lot of lessons are earned, but certainly trophies are very much earned, and boys, you bloody well deserve this. Go the Borough! Come on, boys! Yeah!
What a grand final, one of the great VFL grand finals, and Port Melbourne prevail by 4 points. It's the Borough, the champions of Victoria.